I'm doing Reddit AI opinions again. I really tried to think of a different video idea. You would think it would be easy to find something to get angry about eventually, but unfortunately for both of us, I am an idiot. Refusing to use AI is like using a spoon to dig a trench when you have permission and open access to use an excavator. Not really, and for a couple of reasons. An excavator still needs to be operated, and digging a hole is not a creative endeavor. Archaeologists unearth exceptionally preserved, not real art argument. Judges tools instead of ideas. AI is not a tool. Gatekeeps creativity. You are not creative. Afraid of change. It's not change, it's the same thing. People who aren't creative wanting to create things, but not wanting to do the actual creating part. Spends all day arguing online. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you are currently making a post on a subreddit dedicated to arguing. Focuses on rules, not results. The results are bad. It's not art. It isn't. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. That's part of the thing that makes it not art. Real artists don't need shortcuts. No, real artists do use shortcuts sometimes. Like, for example, drawing on a tablet is different than painting in real life, because on a tablet you can just erase it. If you fuck up painting, you can't erase the paint. But you're still doing the process of making something. The Chad makes art. I think you can just, you're not a Chad, and you're not making, and it's not art. You should just leave the cool, in quotes. I agree, cool, in quotes. Let's see what I can make when you're not making. Another tool in the toolbox. It's the only tool in your toolbox because you don't use anything else. Judges ideas, execution, and impact. No, you just see anything made by AI and you go, wow, that's good because that's made by AI. Embraces new tools. Again, not a tool. Adapts and improves. You don't adapt and improve. The AI does. Spends time creating, no creation necessary. Focuses on expression, not gatekeeping. You know what is another form of expression? You could just curl up into a ball on the ground and scream. That is a form of expression. That is not art. Also, I love how he has a tablet in his hand. Like he's gonna use the pencil to click the generate button. Maybe I should start labeling my art as AI so I can easily pick out and block the reactionary, inconsistent, ignorant, hateful, nasty, whiny, chronically online, joyless, basement-dwelling, tone-deaf, hypocritical, pick-me, sanctimonious, cherry-picking, goalpost-moving, smelly, grumpy, gravy goblins, and their army of miserable little LARPy minions, all in one glorious, filthy, immediate sweep. I love how this is supposed to be calling people out for being bitter and is probably the most bitter thing on this subreddit. 6 ways AI improved our lives. Better learning for everyone. AI explains concepts clearly, answers questions, and makes learning easier and more accessible for all ages. And frequently gets common knowledge incorrect. Mental health support. AI offers a listening ear, encouraging words, and helpful guidance. Helpful guidance? Anytime needs support. Anytime needs support. I probably don't have to tell you that AI is not the best when it comes to mental health, given that it often feeds into delusions and multiple people have undone themselves because AI fed into their delusional thinking. Boosting productivity, you know what else can do that? Just an actual physical list of things. Breaking language barriers. Google Translate is not new. Advancing healthcare. I don't trust a program that can't count with my life. And sparking creativity. AI inspires ideas, helps write, design, compose, and turn imagination into something beautiful. I mean, you could just write, design, compose, and turn imagination into something beautiful. Love the image, by the way. The child isn't even looking at the tablet and it's upside down. Those are the kind of things you might be able to correct if you weren't using AI. Also, none of these are actual reasons. This is just imaginary scenarios in which the idea of artificial intelligence could help, but there's no practical scenarios in which this actually happens. Oh my gosh, why the fuck do these people... There are some people who just should not have access to meme templates because they don't actually make memes. They just fucking write a shitty essay and then slap it on a meme template. Artists in the past and real world break rules, create freely. Great artists steal, not really. Take it and make it your own. Well, you can Get rid of make it because you're not making it, and you get rid of your own because it's not your own. The AI is what made it. So just take it. You're just taking it is what you're doing. Learn from the best. Express yourself however the hell you want. Art is punk. But young and extremely online artists, you must ask permission for everything. No, my style. To my knowledge, people aren't upset that someone gets inspired by their style and makes something in a similar style, so long as they don't claim to be the creator of said style. People tend to get more upset when, an AI is trained on the things they made, and then someone else uses that AI to generate an image and says, look at what an artist I am. Also, you're calling people chronically online while making an extremely long Reddit post. I don't know where you think you are. Is this a copy pasta meme? Yes. Is it a bit oversimplified? Also yes. But I think the point still stands. The extremely online, mainly young, art community has some oddly reactionary ideas about expression that I would argue have been warped by our commodified, capitalist, social media-driven culture. Art should fundamentally be about expression. If you're treating it first as a competition or commercial venture, that's your right, but it's a betrayal of the values that have driven art for over 100 years now. Toughen up, get good, as the kids say, hone your ideas and your skills, and stop complaining just because someone is getting attention and or money you think you deserve instead. And better yet, learn to create for yourself, not others. Well, a couple things, Guy. Number one, for people whose job it is to make art, yeah, they probably get pretty upset when some asshole says they deserve the same amount of money for AI generating an image. And please tell me more about how anti-capitalist you are while you pay $1 billion company money so that you can AI generate images with their program. And quite possibly the most obvious point, who do you think you are telling people to get good and hone their craft when you don't have a craft? I was like 50-50 on whether or not this was ironic, but the bottom part is too accurately written for it to be someone doing an impression of an asshole. Pick up a pencil and stop making slop. It's not the tool, it's the artist. Well, this isn't the difference between something digital and something physical. This is the difference between doing something at all and not doing anything at all. I like also how there's the shitty drawings on the left and then the AI generated image on the right. You see, this is without AI, but this is with AI. But the image on the right also looks bad. It looks like what someone who isn't creative thinks someone who is creative would make. It's so generic, and like all AI generated images, is way too busy. I've been drawing in my free time for decades. Airplanes, trains, Ubers, all great time to pull out my pencil instead of a Nintendo. That's such an old-fashioned way of saying it, a Nintendo. But it takes hours to visualize one frame of an animation, and while I appreciate the effort of traditional artists, that's a bottleneck for my imagination. Disney had to endure this a century ago. We don't. You do, though. You still do, or else you're not animating anything. Willing to put in as much effort as imagining what the next frame of an animation is supposed to look like, then maybe animating isn't for you. Manufacturing a single cotton canvas, paint, and brushes, then shipping it to the island that I live on, will cost resources equivalent to thousands of these generated images. Furthermore, I mainly use local models like SD/Flux on my solar-powered GPU with a closed-loop water cooling system, so I'm not using any water in Texas. If you don't want a data center in your backyard, vote accordingly and let someone else in France build it for profit instead. Well, I imagine canvases and paintbrushes probably make their way to your island on their own. You don't have to custom order them. But to be fair, I don't know what island you're talking about. You'd be talking about Epstein Island for all I know. But also, you don't need those things. You could paint something in Microsoft Paint, and that is more artwork than what you are doing right now. Also, you apparently apparently seem to get pencils and paper just fine, so why not use that? Vandal removed the Copilot keys on our display laptop. Just a little info here. I am a Walmart employee and I took this photo the other day. And no, I did not do it myself. I didn't see who did it. This was posted elsewhere previously, but ended up blocked due to too many people being in support of the vandalism, calling whoever did it a hero. Me, I believe it's wrong to deface property that isn't yours. Yeah, I mean, vandalism's not great, but Walmart's not losing out too big. It's fine. Artists getting slapped with AI label. You brought this on yourself. Remember the old days of AI where it wasn't nearly good as today? Yes, even in those days, artists were just slapping the label of AI slop on anything that's created with AI tools, fear-mongering and just insulting people who want to try and create things with this new tool, and not realizing in the future AI will actually come out of the slop era to create actually good things. People don't call AI slop because it's bad, although it is. They call it slop because it's just trash that's produced with no thought for mindless consumption. We're on the good things era now. Most of the AI images, videos, edits, songs, or even coding is far from slop, yet there are still people, yes, you people, trying to slap this AI slop label on them and mistaking traditional artists' works with it. There already been several cases of meltdowns of these artists who wrongly got slapped with AI slop label because AI got way better, in it to the point of it's just not distinguishable anymore. In most cases, it is distinguishable, and some people will just label anything AI slop even if they don't know if it's AI or not. They don't really take the time to check, but most people do take the time to check. And this is the line where I need to ask everyone in here, why aren't you just enjoying what's made? Because what's made is bad and not actually being made so much as produced. And this is the line where I need to ask those who specifically slapped everything AI slop, why you had to go and ruin something. It was ruined from the moment it came into existence. Because currently, you are the one who's getting hit by your own creation, and well-deservedly so. The whole AI slop argument is both stupid and only dividing. This happens so often when people will make the most bitter, and smug and confidently incorrect post in the world, and they'll be like, why are you being so divisive? Why are you dividing everyone by believing what you believe instead of everyone getting along and believing what I believe? Remember, saying people can make fan art while telling AI artists they aren't allowed will not end well. That has to be the least intimidating threat in the world. Someone's supposed to be scared of people who can't even get out of bed in the morning without asking ChatGPT how to do it. AI art is real art, and AI artists are real artists. This is just as pathetic as people who will make fan art of their favorite characters just saying their political opinions and being like, see? Now see? You see this? Only even more pathetic because you AI generated it. We should gently remind creators how fair use and copyright law works and how hypocritical it is for them to try and dictate the mediums chosen by artists. If you're telling me that I'm able to make fan art just not with AI, you lose my respect. Oh no. And the respect of other people, all because wanted a virtue signal, and the art will still be made either way. Well, they're not trying to stop the art from being made. They can't do that. To my knowledge, it's not illegal to make fan art of someone's character if you use it for non-commercial purposes. I think they're saying they just don't support AI-generated art in general. This one I just thought was funny because it seems to be a Reddit post of a Reddit post of a Reddit post of a retweet of a tweet, which I just thought was funny. I have a question for those who consider themselves anti-AI art. Have you really never watched a movie/book just because you liked the general idea of it? It's often said that the general idea is worthless. Is it? But I can actually sit through a 2-hour movie just because I like the general idea, if the execution is acceptable to me. It's like, look at this crap they shoved in as the main villain. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have no idea what this guy's trying to say. Have I ever watched a movie because I like the general idea? Yes. That is how most people choose movies they want to watch. They like the idea. And if the execution is acceptable to them, they generally finish watching the movie. That guy just described watching a movie and liking it. I don't understand how that's supposed to relate to AI. Even if you are personally against AI in education, it is strange to ignore the real potential of AI that has already become an external environment for people. I mean, if AI can answer most university tests correctly, then because all humans have access to AI, that's already become a new minimum for untrained human with AI. Just like a calculator, a normal person can calculate a lot of things with a calculator, even if they don't know how to count properly. You still need to know how to count to use a calculator. If you yourself personally possess a level of knowledge whose practical benefit is equivalent to the capabilities of AI, then you are practically no different from an ordinary person, since to get the same, another person simply needs to get AI. You just compared an AI user to someone who can't count, and let's say I'm a business owner. I don't care how advanced AI gets, I'm not gonna hire someone who can't count. You're treating AI as though it's a fountain of knowledge from which you can pull all wisdom, but it frequently gets stuff wrong. Also, just because you have the potential to access information doesn't mean that you already know the information. Also, do you know what's really similar to the situation you're describing? Googling something. You wouldn't say that someone is smart because they could Google the answer to a question. So someone is not smart because they could ask ChatGPT the answer to a question. You can say this isn't enough for real work, but arguing that the capabilities of an ordinary person haven't increased is foolish, and this creates a situation where you're requiring students to learn something whose usefulness is truly zero. You can say that a human can grow beyond AI, yes, but where is that level? When will a student achieve it? You honestly have to put in a lot of effort just to reach AI's level. Well, you'll never know more than AI, because AI has access to Google and the wealth of human knowledge that exists. But it doesn't have the capability to understand the information it's giving to you. At least with Google, you know that someone had to deliberately write that down. Even if there's a chance it's not true, someone who understood what they were doing had to deliberately make it. AI doesn't do that. A perfect example of this is when the Pope died, Pope Francis. I Googled like 5 different times in 5 different ways if the Pope was dead, and Google's Gemini AI kept telling me no. And then I checked Wikipedia, a place human beings have to deliberately edit, and it said right there at the top that he was dead. Also, how is relying on one source of information that's frequently wrong making people smarter? If anything, it's making them dumber, because now they're not relying on actually knowing information, but rather just getting it the second they need it from a place that doesn't even know what it's telling you. That's really all the AI I can handle for right now. Hopefully next time I'll have a new video idea and I won't just be doing AI Reddit again. I'm done.